All right, we're back. Game number 2 here. Greg 5, no limit. Um, Game 1, honestly, been seeing a lot of what No Limits has been playing. I've been watching a little bit of this team. I subbed on Savory Characters when they played this team. Um, Doing a very dominant playstyle right now. Really interested to see how Greg 5 are gonna turn things around here. So they put out some bans. Tide, they ban out the Life Stealer. They got the DK ban as well. Overall, a good start. And No Limit's gonna pick up an Abaddon. So in line with their tanky snowball build. Um, yeah, need some like anti-healing, mobility. We're gonna pick up a Hoodwink. I mean, I'm an avid Hoodwink player. I love the hero. A lot of fun to play. Um, has the mobility, has that sort of slippery mobility. I'm able to run through trees and kind of slip out of some bad situations. Nice AoE stun. Oh, No Limits banning out the Timber Saw. I think that's their Achilles with their lineup that they roll a lot. I think any sort of hero that can kind of kite well, sustain in sort of long fights, and able to put out a decent amount of damage over time. Timber Saw kind of checks all those boxes. They do end up banning out the Brew as well. Interesting one. Also a hero that can kind of sustain well for a long time in fights. Greg 5. There we go. AA. So there we go. We got some anti-heal. AA Blast. I've seen it kind of cripple Lifestealer in its place. I think it'll do sort of similar to what No Limits generally kind of runs in their lineups. One well-placed AA Blast can really cripple a high health team. The tricky part is it's like you gotta be able to also just crowd control well. Um, no Limits. Once they get that sort of initial foothold after laning stage, they just start to kind of roll together, and there's tend to be a lineup that just kind of runs at you. So being able to crowd control that, they're going to pick up the Undying as well. So Abaddon Undying, like that support pair. I say support pair, but immediately comes out of Warlocks. So Abaddon probably position 3. Maybe they're doing a position 1 Abaddon, but more likely I think position 3. I mean, Warlock does them quite well. They've got 3 healing heroes right there. What does Greg 5 choose into this? Anti-healing. So heroes that like to buy Shivas. Thinking something like a Primal might not be bad for them to kind of stand in front. They don't have the Timber Saw to pick, so something like a Primal, able to sort of move around fights quite well, engage and disengage. Death Prophet. Death Prophet. I was thinking the second hero in my brain was Death Prophet. Again, like a hero that likes long fights, can put out quite a bit of decent damage with the Exorcism. Likes to buy Shivas. Not super mobile. It does have decent movement speed once Exo's out and can can certainly buy some items that help with the movement speed. Gonna want to see like at least a force staff on Ancient Apparition or Hoodwink. Not so much Hoodwink. Hoodwink tends not to buy force staff, maybe, but that's just me. I did not change my game name here. Game 5. No, Game 2. Best of 2. Just reposting. Okay, so so for in terms of no limits, in order to kind of deal with the death profit, you need a decent amount of burst damage. Without a whole lot of burst damage, that hero can kind of just run amok in team fights. Pick up a Chaos Knight on Craig 5. Pretty good. Is tanky, can stand in the front, do a lot of damage. Can put out a lot of damage with the ultimate. Has a stun, which provides some decent crowd control. That's kind of one thing that they're lacking with the 3. I mean, Hoodwink was their only sort of crowd control at that point, so definitely adding a stun onto a hero is good. Yeah, I think the Chaos Knight like works well into the tempo that No Limits throws out. If Chaos Knight just has a decent enough lane, 1-2 items in, and Chaos Knight can really put some hurt down. It'll be interesting to see. They didn't ban the Lone Druid. I wonder if No Limits is going to pick up the Lone Druid. There it is. There it is. Yeah. I mean, low Druid, it's going to be mid, and it's going to put a lot of pressure down the mid lane. Not sure if this Death Prophet, probably mid lane. I don't think it does too bad against Lone Druid. It does kind of like Lone Druid kind of forces Death Prophet to need to stay in the lane. As soon as you leave Lone Druid alone in the lane, it's going to take a tower down very quickly. Death Prophet kind of relies on the timing of her ult to do the same. So like the mid rotations from the Death Prophet will be interesting to watch. Well, Greg 5 batting out the axe. Definitely one thing that No Limits is lacking right now is catch. You don't really have a hero that does any sort of catch. Abaddon might end up getting a harpoon, which will kind of help with it, but yeah, they're really sort of lacking any sort of control or catch at the moment. They're going to be doing all the running at them, so let's see what they pick up in terms of helping that sort of department in their lineup. Definitely the axe ban, I think, makes good sense. An axe in this lineup would be pretty nasty. Greg 5 betting out a Juggernaut. I mean, Juggernaut secures that sort of late game for No Limits. Provides them with a nice sort of damage up with the ultimate sort of in that the fast tempo kind of timing that they tend to run. No Limits banning out Sand King. Hero that also likes sort of longer fights and can fights a little bit longer than some other position ones, but I guess it's a Chaos Knight 1. I'm not a big fan of Chaos Knight 3. It's not like the worst position 3 hero. There's certainly much worse, but it kind of falls under this like Wraith King DK category of position 3 that I think can kind of fall a little flat if it doesn't have a good lane. No Limits picking up Dawnbreaker. Again, checks all the boxes that No Limits likes to roll. Tanky. It all runs in that sort of timing where it has a nice power spike along with the rest of their team. Has that global ability, so being able to show up to ganks and fights frequently, providing that extra stun. I pick up a Naga Siren. Really interesting. So lots of illusions to deal with. I mean, maybe that's the answer. Forcing No Limits to have to deal with a whole crapload of illusions. And definitely the song can do really well to disengage. Here we go. Here we go. Hats again. My God, both these teams just always rocking great hats. Tough to call. Really cool Dawnbreaker set. Bea's Abaddon is just tech to the teeth. Even Big Dad Energy's Undying is. Naga Siren's got some cool pieces on it. Snipe with that really cool. I think it's an Immortal Shield. I'm having a lot of trouble deciding, honestly. Can I just do a pass? Can it be a tie? I mean, Dota games don't ever end in a tie, but what if the Hats draft can end in a tie? It's my stream, and nobody's here to argue with me, so I'm gonna give it a tie. All right, so going into game 2 now. Greg 5 or Greg 5? Greg give? 5 Gregs? So, on the side of Greg 5, coming back here after quite a crushing loss in game 1, they're going to punch back here. They're going to have Uranium Heart on Naga Siren. X2 going to be on the DP. Raider going to be on the Chaos Knight. Greg going to be on the AA. And lastly on the team, we've got Popo on the Hoodwink. Oh, sorry, we've got Greg Wink, Graga Grierin, Greg Bolius, and Ancient Grepolition. what's Greg Bolius? My brain is not computing that one at all. Okay, and on the side of No Limits, very commanding team, pulling out fast tempo wins. You've got Baelect on the Abaddon. Waste Manager going to be playing the Dawnbreaker. Playmate on his classic Lone Druid. Ocean going to be playing the Warlock. And Big Dad Energy once again, putting out that Undying. Let's see how both of these teams fare out in game 2. Rune contention looking very peaceful. 2 runes going on to both sides. Looks like we're looking at what's the lineup here? It's going to be a DP3 with a Chaos Knight mid. I mean, we've heard Praetor likes these sort of unconventional mids. He's played a Wraith King mid. I played him against a anti-mage mid. Definitely is unafraid to kind of put whatever kind of hero mid and quite confidently play it. It'll be interesting to see how it fares up against a Lone Druid. In the bottom lane, it's going to be an Abaddon 1. Abaddon 1 Warlock versus a DP3 and a Hoodwink. And then 5 Greg's going to have the Naga Siren position 1, supported by the Ancient Apparition, into Waste Manager. is playing the Dawnbreaker with Big Dad Energy on the Undying. Gonna be some interesting lanes here. Once again, sporting a lot of like two strength heroes. Naga Siren. No, like I think Waste Manager. I think Dawnbreaker does pretty well in destroying illusions. Um, it's gonna make the Naga Siren lane a bit tricky. Ancient Apparition does have the range advantage here, able to do a lot of sort of harass early. Maybe gonna have to make Waste Manager and Big Dad Energy spend a lot on their healing if kind of consistently put out that harass. Mid lane, I mean it's a melee hero versus lone druid. Does have a stun, I mean yeah, well, I mean Limitz clearly plays lone druid a lot. Well practiced on the hero. Probably has the micro down pretty well to kind of keep themselves safe. I think Chaos Knight definitely a good melee hero to be against Lone Druid, but I just have to see how this goes. Does have a decent amount of sustain with Chaos Strike and the healing from it, so might be able to stand up pretty decently in this lane. And I mean Abaddon Warlock, the potential against this duo is super low. I think Death Prophet and like might have a bit of trouble securing a kill here, pushing down the tower. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see which lane First Blood kind of comes out in. Waste some energy getting quite low here. Blood Grenade does go out on Uranium Heart, but skirting around to get away. Big 10 energy with that Undying. With a nice power spike in the laning stage. This fairly well. X2, I mean, DP Spirit Siphons are really strong, but you have to be careful once Warlock has Upheaval. Not sure if that healing is going to be enough to sort of keep them if they do end up getting stuck in low. Wank out with the stun. Warlock getting quite low here. Shield does go out to protect them. Exchange there, but you see how both of these duos just kind of have solid footing for laning stage. Oh, there's a First Blood in the mid lane. Raider securing the kill on Lone Druid. That's a big First Blood kill. Yeah, Chaos Knight does a lot of damage. He's maxing out that Chaos Strike really quickly. Means that's a lot of damage. 2 bracers. Able to sort of close that ground against the Lone Druid Bear, and Lone Druid Bear at this point doesn't have a massive health pool. First Blood secure in the mid lane. Look at Siren. I mean, this is an interesting one. Naga Siren goes late. That hero is pretty hard to deal with. Sort of like the Medusa, it looks like Greg 5 do have that sort of position 1 late game secured. No limits. They just don't run that kind of lineup. They just want the fast tempo. They want to win their games by 30 minutes, 40 minutes max. I think they ended up taking away the facet that Slaymate was typically running on this Lone Druid. Oh, we got a kill in the top lane. Nope, sorry, in the bottom lane. The DP goes down. Looks like Looks like the Bea and an Ocean were able to secure a kill. It was upheaval related. Lots of damage coming out of Abaddon's right click. It looks like got a bit of more action in the mid here. Two heroes coming to join the fight mid here. Hoodwink, and they're trying to apply this pressure onto the tower here. They do catch the bear, but able to get the ultimate out. That's a big health boost. And Slaymate wants to get his timings done. He's on a schedule. Wants to get this tower down. This is how typically they've been running this lone druid. Tier 1 tower down as quickly as possible. We see that. Raider losing his mid tower. Kind of now confined to this lane. I mean, we'll have to watch how Slaymate rolls if he's going to choose to go to another lane to continue push towers down, or if he's just going to keep applying pressure to the mid. Forcing Praetor to kind of match up there. And moving back down to the safe lane. Slaymate looks like he's making his way down to the bottom. They want to take this tier 1 in the bottom lane down. Up goes the upheaval once again. Oh, might want to... Yeah, the upheaval is done now, but we have Slaymate walking onto the squirrel. No roots there, but X2 might be in a bit of trouble here. Able to kind of just walk out. Slaymate, yeah, gonna now apply pressure here. Praetor does have ultimate, working on the armlet. I mean, this is a nice power spike. Once the hero gets armlet and has the ultimate, it's a decent power spike for Chaos Knight. So we have Slaymate just taking down this tier 2, 8 minutes. Or tier 1. That's 2 tier 1s down, 8 minutes. No Limitz, high tempo signature right there. One thing that would be good against this No Limits kind of fast push is a hero that can kind of stand in a lane and just stop the push from happening. Something with a lot of wave clear, easy wave clear. Uranium Heart getting gone on under tower here. Waste Manager securing that kill with Starbreaker. But the rest of Greg 5 showing up here to try and get this done. We've got the ultimate going out, doing some healing for that lone druid. He's getting quite low now. Oh, and they get stuck there. There's just an unfortunate circumstance block there of two heroes just kind of blocking the way of the escape there. But still punching back, No Limit's going to be able to get 2 kills there. The Chaos Knight and the DP go down in exchange for the lone druid. Waste Manager still going in, wants to secure some more kills here. He's being backed up by the Abaddon, so that snowball is being put together as we speak. Last tier 1 getting chunked on here, just under 10 minutes. They group. They push and they group. Very, very early. The lineup that fights against this needs to be able to fight into this. Heroes that just have a power spike right around the sort of level 6, level 8. Naga Siren working towards a Manta. I mean, I'm a little worried this Naga Siren is going to feel a bit similar to the Medusa in the last game. If No Limits is able to apply that same kind of pressure that they did last game, the Naga Siren's going to be on a very uncomfortable timing, very uncomfortable tempo to play into. I mean, it does have the Song of the Siren, maybe a little bit more reliable for disengaging than Medusa Ultimate. Praetor almost done this armlet. Once Praetor's armlet's done, I think we might be able to see Greg 5 be able to start apply some of the pressure of their own. WLDL Blast, Exorcism is up. They are fighting into a tricky lineup though. Once again, it's super tanky, lots of heals. Securing kills onto No Limits is going to be very difficult. Definitely going to have to bring out some big guns. Exorcism, definitely a good tool. Able to put out a lot of damage, but you're going to need to be able to keep this Death Prophet alive. Right now, only just has the Bracer. Might be a bit tricky if No Limits is keen and focusing the Death Prophet in fights. Take that Death Prophet out early, and Greg 5 might have a bit of trouble in these early fights. Does have the armlet now. Raider. We have Invis Bea. Just gonna stand right next to Raider, breathe on the back of his neck, give him some goosebumps, give him some attack, and they're gonna come in with the Dawn. Raider getting pushed out. You're gonna have to move past them to try and fight this out, but he's caught out. 3 heroes, 4 heroes immediately moving on to him. And just unfortunate. I mean, good gank on the side of No Limits. This is the sort of tight coordination and pressure that they apply. Finding a lone hero, marking it, taking it down quickly, and then moving and taking ground on it. Medium Heart has the Yasha working towards Manta. I mean, illusions. Problem with illusions is their damage output is not significantly high, particularly towards tanky heroes. They do pretty well against squishies, but tanky heroes, decent armor and a high health pool, they're kind of just don't really feel the burn of illusion heroes too much. We got Slaymate just poking with the bear on Praetor. Praetor is 2 levels ahead of Slaymate. Gonna go onto this bear. Much use chasing that. It's gonna be the ult down for 60 seconds. You use the illusions to pressure this bottom. I mean, the advantage of illusions is that you can start to split push quite well with them. And forcing lanes out, split pushing, forcing No Limits to have to address parts of the map. You do have the Dawnbreaker, who is able to kind of be on the other side of the map, handle the lane pushouts, and then show up to fights when they happen. Raider moving in now to the top here. Farm this out. 25 seconds before his ultimate's up. Not seeing much exorcism use at the moment. I mean, you want to see some items come out on this DP where that exo is going to feel really, really useful in a fight. The hero's going to have to just have survivability, and I think right now No Limits do have the means to kind of take out that hero quite quickly. Praetor coming out now. Here we go. Trying to secure this kill onto the lone druid. They will take it down with the Ice Blast. Dawn Waste Manager comes in. AA is going to go down, and nice fatal bonds there. Able to also take down the Hoodwink. EP dying there as well, so... Warlock just taking out squishies with the rock and the fatal bonds there. I do manage the kill on the lone druid, but have to now kind of just run. Looks like we got some pings. I mean, is this going to be an early Roshan? I'd be surprised. Seems a bit too early for Roshan. The Waste Manager connected with a Starbreaker onto Praetor is in a bit of trouble here, being surrounded by two heroes and the Rock. He will go down. Yeah, Chaos Knight kind of lacking that sort of mobility you need to disengage. He's getting caught out here. Doesn't really have the means to kind of get out unless some supports are able to help that effort. And we see how effective this Dawnbreaker is he being able to close ground and apply just enough damage onto these squishy heroes that they don't feel comfortable contributing to fights. Abaddon working towards a Radiance. That's going to be scary. That's going to be quite scary. They're going to have all that beef and meat, plus a Radiance on the Abaddon, who does not go down easy. Squishy heroes are having issues now. They're going to be having even more issues then. Do you have the mechanism out on X2? Working towards the Greaves. Just to kind of address that issue. Going for the snipe onto the Warlock. Half health now, but don't really have the means to close that distance. Looks like TPs are going out. That was just the bear down. There's another bear up in 15 seconds. Siren has the Manta. Gonna hopefully be able to get some of the split push going, but Abaddon gonna be holding out that lane for now. Ideally, they want the Dawnbreaker down there while Abaddon is rolling with the rest of them. They're smoked up here. I think they're gonna shift mid. So I got Basher and Quick Abyssal being built onto the Chaos Knight. That's to be able to lock down and secure kills. I'm a little worried though, we're not gonna see much heal reduction coming out anytime soon. We have to really rely on some very accurate AA blasts to make these fights work well. They're pinging. They want this high ground. It's 19 minutes. They're already chunking away at this high ground in Greg 5. Nowhere to be found. They're going to use the glyph. But I mean, no limits. They're not going to let up here. They do smoke. Not sure if they know. But I mean, choosing to go for the Tormentor. But no limits is turning. They're taking their eye off of the high ground and they're running down here. They're gonna try and catch what they can here. Lots of TPs out. Naga Siren. Still kind of down here. They have some pings. They do end up seeing the Hoodwink there in the trees. I mean, overall, not too bad. Just one support getting caught. Much worse. I mean, interesting Tormentor pickup. Very, very brave, even in the face of no limits kind of pressuring that tower, but it did feel a bit early. I mean, I'm not surprised that no limits was a bit hesitant to go up there and instead opted to try and get a pick off instead. They're pinging for the mid tower, last tier 2. Nope, sorry, there is still tier 2 top. Praetor does see Abaddon, but this is not a hero that's going to go down easy. We see Dawnbreaker up in that cliff, ready to show just on the edge of that bushwhack. Oof! That just snipes the lone druid in the face. Annoyingly. Do have the rock. Going to be a tricky defense. I mean, this Exort is going to have to come into play here. Do have the go nuts facets, so not frequent sharpshooters, but high damage sharpshooters. We do have the A blast. When this ultimate goes out, it's going to have to be very crucial. I mean, Greg 5 there, looks like they're just going to opt to back it up here. And honestly, a decent play. You really don't want to lose a team fight at this point, because losing a team fight could just be very crippling for them at this moment. You need this Naga Siren to start coming online. They do catch up the Warlock here. It does have a Glimmer Cape to ease out of there, and A Blast goes out but does not connect. Dawnbreaker going in, stun, does catch the CK, able to walk back. Rock is committed here, and Greg 5 gonna be able to get up onto their high ground, but Dawnbreaker in a bit of trouble here. Dawnbreaker coming down. Sorry, DP was in trouble. Dawnbreaker coming down. And then Naga Siren's coming in here, seeking out the Dawnbreaker, who's getting very low, but not quite down enough. Abaddon's keeping him alive. Song comes out to get them out, and there's the Exorcism. I'm going to try and chase them down now with this Exo. I've been trying to get a catch here, but not quite the terrain. And overall, not a huge fight. Slight advantage of Greg 5. They did pick up... Wait, they didn't pick up any. They didn't pick up any kills, but somehow they get some golden XP out of that. A bit confusing. Oh, sorry, no. Undying died. Undying died. He came back right away, so they picked up one kill on the Undying. In terms of items, though, I'm still looking at last hits. So our net worth here, I think Dawnbreaker on the top here, up by 2k. Followed by Naga Siren. Naga Siren's up there. We are starting to potentially look at late game here, and if Naga Siren has the Orchid completed. I mean, working on a Bloodthorn. Catching out the Dawnbreaker here. 2 nets going out and a silence. It's not quite enough damage at this point, though. The chunky hero, 2400 HP and only one item. Only one item. I mean, I guess Soul Ring as well, supporting the health, so. Just base health and base strength gain is keeping no limits on top of this momentum. Put one X2, just applying a bit of pressure onto this top tower. But no limits, kind of grouped up here in the triangle. I guess Siren doing well to send in illusions. Hope out what they're doing. Keep that space. Yeah, Radiant's quite decent against illusions. Bonus damage to illusions, provides the evasion. Definitely Abaddon Radiance is going to be doing good work for no limits into this lineup. Now Slaymate on the high ground, starting to chunk away at this tower with the bear. Damage going out, AA Blast. Close, but not quite. Looks like they smoke and they're going to go back. Not an easy high ground to take necessarily. The AA Blast is kind of scary. There is a song that they kind of have to deal with. Might be a bit tricky to train onto this high ground. They don't have the Tide Ravage that they did in the last game that kind of really made the high ground easier for them. The bear is going to go down. Does have a bear in the back pocket to pull out once more. But Greg 5 now pulling out of the base. They want to fight. They're going to grab this Lone Druid. Able to secure the kill on him despite the Dawn ult. Exo goes out. Picking up a kill on the Warlock as well. And now no limits. Kind of just have to scatter and fight. Hey, Abaddon is in there, but he's surrounded. His ultimate's going to go down. And that's 4 kills on the side of 5 Gregs. This is the turnaround that they wanted to see. Huge, huge, huge fight for them. We still have CK at work there, able to choose targets and pin them down, while the rest of the team kind of just swarmed on top of them. And Lone Druid and Warlock quickly went down. No Rock committed. I guess they're able to take down the Warlock before the Rock was able to come out. It's definitely going to be a pattern that they need to repeat in these team fights. Preventing that Rock from coming down, not fighting into an upheaval and massive fatal bonds is going to be kind of crucial for them. I mean, the combo is Song, get on top of the Warlock, followed by a DP silence, and then just immediately focusing down the Warlock. Once you pick the Warlock out of the equation, I think the rest of the 4 are going to have a bit of trouble in team fights. It's really the Warlock that's providing sort of massive damage from fatal bonds, from the upheaval, kind of keeping everyone in the sort of circle of death with Chaotic Offering. And if they can repeat that approach, then Greg 5 might be in a good position in this game. Do see the Force Staff on the Dwang. That's good. Force Staff is really important for these kind of lineups that just want to run at you. And does have the Sange, so CK going to be quite tanky now. Going to see an Abyssal Blade to kind of further that ability to hold down particular targets. You are eyeing Roshan here, but I think Greg 5 are aware of it. Do have the ward up on the cliff there. So they do know about this. Not sure if it's something they want to contest though. Taking a bit of time. We do have the AA blast going in, connecting onto 4 heroes. This is scary for them. Popo going in to secure this motion, and no limits, feeling on their back feet right now. Kind of a bit panicked there. There is follow-up here. Aga Siren is in, catching on to the Dawn. CK in as well. Song goes out. They're looking, but not sure this Song is really providing much other than a chance for No Limits to kind of regroup here. They're going to go right back into the Roche pit. They see Greg or X2 on the bottom here with the Exo, so maybe not so afraid to continue this fight. They do pick up the Aegis on the Abaddon. Hoodwink now just going to kind of have to run the little squirrel legs, but he's going to get gone on and taken down. An unfortunate casualty of that bit of awkward exchange there in the Roche pit. It looked good there. I think the Song kind of held them back. No, it's hard to tell. Hard to tell, honestly. They didn't have all their heroes there, so that fight might have not gone so well, and the A Blast did kind of just peter off before that fight really got started. They did make some ground. They got a tier 2 on the bottom. A tiny little bit of damage onto their tier 3, but now the bear gonna go onto the high ground here. Aegis of Immortal on the Abaddon. They're gonna attempt this high ground. Exorcism not up for 40 seconds. Longest Siren does have the Bloodthorn. Help a lot for damage, for ensuring kills underneath Radiance. It's going out, but no Limitz, not able to take this high ground. Definitely looking a little bit not as decisive as they were in first game. But on going in, as the Aegis wants to get a fight started, but their ultimate is going to go off there. Gonna get hit by an A blast. That's gonna be that's gotta be down. Gotta be down. He'll doing work. He lives. He lives. Okay. Just barely above that death threshold. Lots of healing. Lots of healing on the team. We have a Guardian Greaves on the Undying. Big Dad energy. Buying that big Grieve energy. Abaddon walking up again. Still has the Aegis. He wants to keep this going. He does not want to fight this Naga Siren late. Rock will go out, not really catching anybody, but providing that center to their push here. And CK going in, catching out. I think that's the Abaddon down? No, Bear down? Someone went down there. Maybe? Down goes the Dawnbreaker first. Lots of decay stacks going out as 28 decay stacks on Big Dad energy. CK does go down. Exorcism is out, and we have the Aegis down on the Abaddon. Is the net on him? I don't have ult anymore, so if they can keep him in here, they might be able to secure a kill on him. Very sort of cautious, like, defense here, but taking the bear, doing some damage to the bear as it's trying to chunk down this barracks. I mean, it's not going down easy. Able to kind of just walk out. Now goes another upheaval, kind of really tricky to fight into. I mean, defended. Rax defended, but lost the tower. Lost half the health on the rack that doesn't regen. I think overall a win though for 5 Greg. I mean, defending their base, buying some more time. August Siren now has a heart. This hero is only going to get stronger and stronger. It's only going to become more and more difficult for No Limitz to deal with. Let's take a look at some items here. I've got AC on Waste Manager, bring some good aura. I've got Pipe on X2, protecting against magic damage. Question mark? I mean, Fatal Bonds. No, Fatal Bonds transfers the same damage type, I think. Her damage type is the same as the type damage inflicted. Yep. I don't know. What's the type for? I guess Radiance. It's not bad against Radiance, just to negate some of the Radiant damage. Other than that, though, I mean, I wouldn't really think this is much of a pipe game. I could be wrong, though. I think it's going to be a Manta style, some more illusions to deal with. Bear. Bear has the Mjolnir, so this is going to be a good sort of answer to illusions. Mjolnir pumping out lots of lightning, chain lightnings to take down illusions. Not sure if it's going to be enough though. I mean, we'll have to see how these fights shake out, how these illusions kind of are able to stand and fight. Hoodwink working towards what I'm guessing is the near. A little bit more control and catch, never a bad thing. Iridium Heart and Bea see each other here. We'll see here. Look at this. Look at this Naga just chunk. Bea not letting up. Does have teammates here to help out. Song does go out to escape. It's that reliable ulti at work there. Able to eke out of there. Bea's gonna have 50 seconds before that ultimate's up again. X2 doing some lane cutting here. Is that the term? No, it's not the term. What is it? Creep cutting? Wave cutting? I forget. Oh no. Popo gets caught out here. Outside of the base, and they're gonna go up this high ground without a tower. Out goes the glyph to kind of slow this down a little bit. Do have a buyback on Hoodwink. And it looks like the rack does go down. But they're pulling in the bear. They take the bear down quickly. Wow. That's a lot of damage coming out with the Bloodthorn. Radium Heart standing in front here now. There's an upheaval out that's kind of separating out 5 Greg, but they do find the Warlock. Not quite able to catch him, but down goes Undying. Exorcism does come out now. Decent amount of damage. Borrowed time is still up for Abaddon. But looking really strong right now, 5 Greg. Once again, able to push out a really, really decisive team fight here. I did lose the rack there, but starting to turn these tides. Exorcism is up now, but likely going to be able to take this tier 2 now. I think no limits now. Kind of going to have to scratch their heads a little bit here. Gonna have to do something I don't think they have to face often, and that's defend their high ground. Lots of pressure, lots of damage being applied here. They're able to take down the Undying. Pushing right back, taking this mid-racks. Bonebreaker and Abaddon are up shortly. I think they're just going to continue their onslaught here. They're 4v5. They're going to go back. They got what they came for. Oh, no limits. Like, very, very commanding lead so far in the game up until about 5 minutes ago. See, this game is starting to go into this 40-minute mark where their draft starts to kind of fall thin. A blast coming out. Making connection. Praetor is in there. Almost catching Slaymate fully down, but not quite though. That's going to be Chaos Knight down. Attempt, but do not find the kill. In the unfortunate spot here. We do not have buyback on the CK, just 60 gold shy. They're pinging for this Naga Siren here. They're going to try and rotate onto Uranium Heart. Waste Manager catching them out. Out goes that song, TP. Reliable ult. Tempting this high ground now. Waste Manager going in. Catching as many of them as I can, but gonna just be eaten down very quickly. Bit of an overextension there. Now X2, full EXO mode, flying out to try and catch someone here. Ocean, gonna be able to get out. Looks like Abaddon was taken down by the AA blast. Did not see how that happened. Did not catch where that happened at all. I guess up on this high ground, Abaddon was trying to sneak a rack kill there, but Greg 5 now going to push again down mid. Only 3 heroes up. No buybacks on the Dawn or Abaddon. This might be another rack down. No Limitz, not really having the tools right now to defend their high ground. Their lineup's all about pushing the gas and pushing the enemy team forward, but they're not able to fight when they're on their back feet. You do find and ping out the Slaymate here who's sneaking out into the jungle. A blast will connect, and this bear got out. Greg 5 now moving in for the Roshan. Be fairly quick with this Naga with the Bloodthorn. Naga Siren with the butterfly now too. This hero is in full swing now. What is that water? Wet. Greg 5 pointing themselves up. Where are they going? They want the top. They want the top tower and rack. No Limitz. What do they do? What do they do for their defense here? I mean, dealing with the Naga Siren, not an easy task at this point with their lineup. I almost think that they run, I mean, I don't think Magnum Scepter is in the cards for the Lone Druid, but trying to run some kind of rat strategy to split them up, and maybe they get themselves some fortunate pickoffs, but I think a full frontal fight here into Naga Siren, into Exorcism, into the Aegis, going to be a bit tricky for them. Warlock does provide a decent high ground defense. Will it be enough, though? I have Lotus Orb. There's the Shivas that we've been wanting to see. I think Greg 5 are equipped to take this one home. No Limitz, smoking out. They want the catch. They want the catch. They find the Exorcism, or the DP or Exorcism does go out. A blast connects though. This is a bit of a scary situation. Out goes the rock. Naga Siren is in, chunking and doing damage to these heroes. Lone Druid does go down along with the Dawn. Song goes out to put some sanity into this fight, hanging out this Abaddon, who does still have borrowed time, but he's getting ganged up here. Praetor able to take down the Warlock. And Abaddon just kind of has to run. His team is spent. That's 3 dead. 4 dead, but buybacks coming out on Warlock and the Lone Druid. There's a bear up for the Lone Druid. I mean, I see where they were going with that attempt on the DP, but just not able to take that hero down fast enough, and then that fight quickly turned on them. Bear now just in, taking damage, but that's the only bear you got at the moment. Warlock now gonna get caught out. Goes down. Last rack down, and this looks like a well turned around game by Greg 5. Very beautifully turned around. I mean, making a nice showing that they can punch right back against this dominant lineup that definitely oppressed them in the first game, but able to sort of buy the time that they needed. Naga Siren got big, and then No Limits draft has finally been punished, and Big Dad Energy calling for a rematch. What a game. There's an emoji for this. There we go. That's the emoji. I mean, I was a little worried, honestly. I was worried for 5 Greg at the start of that match. It was looking a little bit similar to the first. No Limits doing what they do, applying the massive pressure that they had. Best of 9. Yeah, I mean, they played well. They you saw the tempo that they put up. Um, Endless Lone Druid putting down those towers very quickly. 10 minutes, 3 tier 1s down. Applying the pressure that they know and love to do. The Abaddon, like Balak and the Radiance, providing a whole lot of pressure that Reg 5 were definitely sweating and feeling it. But there were just a few instances, and the game just went that mark, that 40-minute mark. You can see as soon as it hit, it just dipped right into the side of 5 Greg. Naga Siren able to get the items, able to get the damage, able to escape with the Song of the Siren twice. No Limits, they scan the map, they find those pickoffs, but Naga Siren, just the hero that 5 Greg needed to be able to escape those ganks and get to the late game and ultimately just win the team fights. Huge. I mean, both teams playing very, very well and very fun to cast and watch. Hopefully you enjoyed as well. Um, I don't really want to pin an MVP on anybody. I think, I mean, in terms of like 5 Greg, like the CK was a good pick. I mean, it had the kind of power spike to slow down their momentum. No Limits didn't really get super off the ground. They did apply that pressure and did get sort of that map, but I think the Chaos Knight was kind of crucial in being able to secure some decisive kills that they weren't able to do in the first game. We like some good crowd control out of Popo. I mean, you see all the exorcism was and the auras on the next two were doing wonders. AA blasts speak for themselves too. So I'm not going to give MVP to anybody. I think everyone deserves an MVP in these matches. Very fun to watch. All right. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good night. Stay tuned for more WLDL WLDL matchup brawls.